I guess I'll ask you if Megan Gustafson update again, and second one is just, Nalissa, as she continues to acclimate, what do you hope to see out of her tonight as she continues to be in the starting lineup?
Meg is still questionable. She'll be suited. I know that. She'll be out there. Liz, I just need her to continue to be her. That's it. That's all I needed her to do. Board and score like she does. That's it. She's getting acclimated, obviously, to a new environment, new team, new system. But she did great. I don't want her overthinking things. Just go out there and hoop.
Thanks, Caroline. Hey, Coach, good to see you as always. First, just about Aaliyah Nye in terms of her on both ends of the court, not just her shooting, but doing all the things that needs to be done to be trusted in your rotation. Can you talk about that perspective from her so far?
Yeah, she's been a really great pro, honestly. From the second she walked in to that practice facility in Vegas, locked in. People talk about 3-level scorers. There's 3-level learners. And, there's some people that need to walk through it. There's some people that can just look at the board, and off of draws, and they understand what you're doing. And then there's people who can just hear something and have it translate. She makes good adjustments on time, in real time. The same action doesn't beat her twice. And I don't have to call timeout. She does that. She self-corrects. So just super intelligent. I didn't know all those aspects of her game, but I can tell you that's who she is. And, I've never played a rookie this much, but she makes me want to play her. She makes me not want to pull her out, She just does a really good job with being solid, and consistency is what builds trust, and she's definitely built trust with me.
And real quick, I wanted to ask you just on another subject where Cheryl Reeve has had to deal with an onslaught from Christine Brennan. I don't know if anyone's ever asked you about this, but you talk about just the perception that Brennan, in terms of her Caitlin book, has made it harmful in terms of what she's been doing, and especially attacking Cheryl. Do you have any thoughts about that, per se?
I don't really know what you're talking about, other than all I know is she wrote a book and she's pissed a bunch of players off in this league. I don't know much beyond that. I don't know any Cheryl Reeves references or anything.
Becky, to follow up on Ben's question about this, and not a knock on Kia, but having another starter who's aggressive offensively to score, does that help you guys as far as spacing, and other teams can't sort of sag off knowing that Kia doesn't really look to shoot as much as Liz might?
Right. I think, we've won 2 championships with Kia Stokes starting at center. So I don't ever want to undervalue what she's done with this team and for this team. I've really liked her with our second unit when she's the lone post player. Put her out there with, KB and some other people that can really space the floor. It makes her reads very simple. You roll, you get a layup. If the defense rotates over, you kick and there's a wide open shot, which we got a couple times against Connecticut. So I really like her in that role. I think, with Liz just being able to keep the offense or the defense honest. It's really loud. Oh, man. Yeah, I think it helps everybody, though, not just Asia, with the spacing. It helps our guards, too. And she's a hooper. She naturally makes good basketball reads. So I think it's going to work out great for her. I think it's going to work out great for us. And I think Kia's going to be great coming in off the bench for us. Because Kia's somewhat of an anchoring, steadying factor for that second unit, too. She knows all her stuff. She's got a ton of corporate knowledge of what we're trying to do. And so I think it's going to benefit everybody, honestly. I think you'll see another level of Kia's game come out too, because most of the time she's just trying to get out of A's way, which isn't hard, hard for anybody. So, but yeah, we're excited about the addition. And again, also what Kia brings to that second group, that anchor. I can play some zone because she's so good at communicating and knowing what we want from that back line. So I think it's going to be good for everyone.
We're going to jump to Zoom really quick. Nikias, go ahead.
Well, roster question for you as you kind of shuffled some pieces at the bottom of the rotation, and now you add Alyssa Smith.
Nikias, start one more time.
Oh, can I be heard now?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to ask about the roster as there's been a little bit of movement towards the bottom of the roster, and now you add Melissa Smith more recently. Do you feel like this is now just the group, or do you anticipate any more moves there front?
Say again. Whoa. Hot mic.
Can I be heard?
Yeah.
Okay. Just in light of some of the roster movement that's happened at the bottom of the roster, and now adding Melissa Smith more recently, do you feel like this is now going to be the group, or do you anticipate any more movement?
I don't anticipate any more movement at this point.
Got you. Thank you.
Pregame.
When you talk about 3 levels of learning, is there a part of that that you just naturally have felt you're better coaching at?
I think you have to do all 3 because everybody learns differently. So you have to show them, you have to walk them through it, you have to talk to them. Why? Everything needs to have a purpose. And I think when they understand the why behind it, you get more effective, more efficient cuts. You get more efficient screening. We do that, I said today in practice, like every movement that we do has a purpose. This is why we're doing this. This is why you need to come off like you're looking to, like every action should be a scoring action. And I think offensively, I think at times first of all, we've been too slow getting into stuff, but also we haven't been purposeful. And I think that being intentional and purposeful in what we're running, it's not what you run. Everybody's running the same thing, basically. It's how you run it. It's what you put into it, and it's the reads that you make out of it. I'm used to this team, Chelsea, Jack, reading at a PhD level. That's the kind of basketball players they are. And I think we've been reading more of a middle school level. The last few games, I've seen the progression of them being more themselves insofar as making reads. Like Chelsea's passes the other day were ridiculous. I hadn't seen a steady diet of that in previous games. So it's a very good sign for us that we're playing basketball and not just like running plays. And there's a very big difference in that because at the end of the day, they're basketball players. Like I want them to use their instincts. I want them to use their IQs. I don't want robots. I want basketball players.
Got 2 more in the front. If we've got time, we'll go back to Gaddy.
Hi, Becky. I guess I'm just curious, from what you've seen of New York, just sort of in this period when they've been struggling, what has stood out to you besides the obvious of the fact that Jonquel hasn't been playing?
That's what stood out to me.
Ben?
Is how unhealthy they are. When they get their pieces back together, I mean, they had Phoebus out for a few weeks, with the championships going on over in Europe. So, I mean, this is a still very loaded, very dangerous team. And, it's the pros. I'm sorry, but if you're not, like, fully loaded and you're not playing at a high level, it doesn't matter who you are, what talent. If you don't come to compete in this league, you will lose. And I think if there's one thing that's been crazy about this league this year is anybody can beat anybody on any given night.
Again, and then Andy, we're done.
I'm curious about, so when you get someone in the middle of the season like Melissa Smith and you're trying to integrate them into the systems, how does sort of training them and trying to teach them that stuff, how does the approach differ from the preseason since you just have so much less time?
I think you try to keep it to the meat and potatoes. Big picture, a small package of plays, and things that she can learn right off the bat. And just try not to complicate things. Keep it very simple. And so she's put in more work, obviously, than the rest of them because she's trying to play catch up. But she's done a great job of just integrating into our system and whatnot. So at the end of the day, I will say she's a pretty quick study. Like, she's picked it up pretty quickly. So I've been happy with that.
Just following up on your PhD comment, what do you attribute that to? What's the difference? Why are they reading at a middle school level?
Wow, you guys are going to make a soundbite out of that one. Oh, it's not a good line. They're going to be mad at me. I guess I'm spoiled by their basketball genius as well as everybody else. It's just what I expect because I've seen it. I've seen it too many times to not believe in it. Why it's been a little slower, we have a lot of new pieces. Plain and simple. My staff's new players. A lot of corporate knowledge walked out when we lost KP, Alicia Clark, Tiffany Hayes, and Sydney Colson. Because even at the end of the day, I could have played Sydney in some more games for sure. But I could tell you one thing, she could go out there and with the second group and run every play and have them doing the right thing, where now we got to back up. It just takes time. It just takes time. And not everybody reads at the same level, So we're trying to get everybody on that even playing field. And we're just trying to talk each other through it and help each other through it. And I think the tricky thing with coaching is, I don't read the same books to my 7-year-old as I do to my 10-year-old. It's a different level, but you have to take the time to teach both ways. And with that understanding, everybody gets to grow, but it does take time to teach and walk through and explain, and then, actually have the time. We're kind of in a mode where we're kind of playing almost every other day. We're on the road, so there's not a lot of practice time. So more than anything now, we have to rely on our habits and instincts.
Thanks.
Thank you.